can see, I've got all the peel and stick down on the floor, and I have laid down the carpet padding insulation that's going to go there next. And tomorrow we'll pick up the plywood and finish off the floor. Been a long afternoon. Tell you something about this peel and stick. You definitely, like I think I told you, you need really to put gloves on, some kind of disposables when you're handling this stuff. It's tar backed and it will definitely get on your hands in a way you're not going to like, because you're going to have to be super aggressive to get it off. Severe solvents, gasoline, etc. to break it down and get it off of you, and you really don't want to have to do that. So get yourself some disposable gloves, use that, take your time, put it down. It's a pain in the ass to work with, and I tell you, big pieces, if you want to cover a big area, don't do it. It takes you longer to deal with a big piece than to cutting it up into smaller pieces, because it is so sticky. It sticks to itself, it sticks to you, it sticks to everything. So don't even attempt big pieces. Cut smaller pieces, work slow, take your time. I mean, it took me about 3 hours here to just do the floor. So, you know, be ready for that. Alright guys, happy day tubers, see ya. Doug here. We're going to move on to the floor today. Got my plywood paneling for this. And what I want to say here is, this is a tough part, because now all of this other stuff is easy. You don't need to be hyper neat because you're not going to see it. It's all covered. But now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, where you're going to have to be a whole lot more careful about what you're going to do, because you're getting close to final fitment. Okay? So now you got to figure out, how am I going to lay the floor panels down in here? Okay, it's 8 foot by 4 foot. So how do you do that? If you look from the end of my tape measure right there, all the way down here to the end of my square, that's 8 foot. Alright, so the panels are 4 by 8. How are you going to lay them in here? Going to go crosswise, left to right, or long way down and back? That's a consideration. And I'm not going to say there's a right or a wrong way. Pick your style and go for it. I'm choosing to go the long way here because there's less cutouts. If I use a 4 by 8 sheet, which is going to come to right about, no, where is my mark? Sorry, I don't see it at the moment, but I know it's here. Oh, there it is. That is a 4 foot mark that goes over and under the jack, not all the way to the outside wall. But what I needed was the overlap, because wherever you're going to end it, you don't want to end it in a valley. Okay? You don't want to end it in a valley, because you got nothing to back up your screws. You got to end it up here. So that's where I'm ending it up. And it's going to be one sheet, and there's only going to be one cutout just for that wheel well. That's it. Now when I come over to this side, of course I'm going to have to rip a 4 by 8 to that width, and there's going to be the cutout for the wheel well and a cutout for the fuel filler. That's it, 2. And that's why I made the choice to go this way. If I went side to side, I'd have to have a cut. I'd have to cut across the board to shorten it to fit, and then make a cutout for this wheel well and a cutout for this wheel well. And then the next one I put in, I got to make a cutout for this wheel well, and the fuel filler. I mean, that's 5 cutouts versus 3 cutouts. I'm going to go with the 3. It's a whole lot less cutting. So there's the deal. So I mean, it's pretty simple. It's going to come back to about where the square is laying across here. Then I'm going to bevel that edge so that it's not a square edge, so that if I'm loading stuff I don't have an edge I'm catching on. For my other stuff, my dilemma items, which has been in the other video. So it's pretty easy. I don't have to rip the board or do anything, just make one little cutout. Okay, now we're going to look at the piece of plywood. I've already got it laid out here, and that's pretty easy. There's only a few dimensions, you know, from the back corner to the wheel well, which in my case was 18.5 inches. So measuring that to 18.5, and it's 7 inches deep over to here, 37 inches long, and that's it. That's a total cutout, one piece. Now, you're noticing here that I am going to leave the corners square. I am not going to try to radius them and get it exact around the wheel well. In my application, the way I'm going to finish this off, I don't think it's necessary, and it's a complicated waste of time, in my opinion, for my needs. So this is how I'm doing it. There are other ways. There's probably 100 different ways of doing it, and all of them are right if it suits your needs. So I'm going to cut this up, and remember, when you cut your material, you lay it out on the back side of the material so that when the saw cuts it, it leaves a clean edge on the finished side, which is on the bottom side here. That's the finished side. And this little corner right here goes in the back passenger side rear corner under the jack, where it's stowed back there. And when you flip it over and put it in there, it should fit right in, God willing. Okay, later. Here you can see I have it cut. Didn't take but a few minutes. And you can see a little tool I bought here, which is a straight edge for making long cuts on long lumber. Does wonders for that long cut. And if you're going to do a lot of work like this, I'd advise getting one if you're not familiar with them. It only cost me, it was 20 bucks. And was it Lowe's or... yeah, it was Lowe's I got it at. And it comes apart there in the middle, so it's easy to store. And it comes with 2 C-clamps to hold it on, although that's the ones that came with it are not the ones I'm using. I like these little bar clamps of various sizes. They're really easy to work with, and just good stuff. And they're not expensive, these little ones anyway. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of woodworking projects, not just on the van here, so they'll come in handy, and I don't mind spending a few bucks on some tools because I needed them. Alright, there you go for now. Alright, back again for a little while. Floor, cut, and in. Came out well. I didn't care about going over to the edge because there's going to be an enclosure from the door all the way back to the corner on this side, and from the door across that is a little bench to cover all of that right up to the gas fill area. So not going to the wall, no big deal, because that's going to be enclosed. So I'm good with that. Alright. See ya. Okay, guys. Here we go. How about a finished floor? Well, finished for the most part. I might need to put a couple of screws in yet, which I think I do. A couple of places. But, for the most part, yeah, I see up there a couple of screws in the corners to straighten it out. Yeah, I know. But I figured I'd do the video. I'm pretty much done with it. So, that's it. One floor. Alright. That's wrapping the floor up. See ya.